The Koch network has now announced, this is Americans for Prosperity Action, which is one of the main arms of the Koch network, that they are, quote, prepared to support a candidate in the Republican presidential primary who can lead our country forward and who can win. And win was italicized. This was a memo from Emily Seidel, the CEO of Americans for Prosperity and one of the top advisors to AFP Action. The memo doesn't mention Donald Trump, but an official at AFP Action told CNN that that network is not planning to support the former Donald Trump. Quote, to write a new chapter for our country, we need to turn the page on the past, Seidel wrote to the staff and activists there. So the best thing for the country would be to have a president in 2025 who represents a new chapter. Now, Americans for Prosperity has permanent staff in 36 states. They have millions of grassroots activists. They have a larger budget than the RNC. Seidel also wrote, the Republican Party is nominating bad candidates who are advocating things that go against core American principles, and the American people are rejecting them. So who are they going to back? Well, Mike Pence is probably high on the list, and this is probably why this weekend he called for privatizing Social Security, which has been a priority of the Koch family apparently since David ran for vice president in 1980. Mike Pompeo is another possibility. He had the financial backing of the Koch PACs when he represented Wichita, which is where Koch Industries is headquartered. Then there's Nikki Haley, the former South Carolina governor and UN ambassador. She's attended at least one Koch donor conclave. And Ron DeSantis, who was backed by a Koch-backed super PAC on his way to becoming governor. So the network did back some of Trump's efforts, by the way. They spent a lot of money to get that $1.5 trillion giant tax cut for millionaires and billionaires back in the day. AFP and AFP Action have participated in more than 450 races in last year's midterms, knocking on more than 7 million doors and sending out over 100 million mail pieces. Whoa. And that doesn't count all the emails and stuff, apparently. But, you know, the reality of what's going on right now is it's just beginning to dawn, I think, on Republicans that Donald Trump holds their entire future hostage. That's the headline by Dartigan over at Daily Kos. And I think it's a very real issue. I mean, you know, Trump could drastically alter the 2024 race. On the one hand, if he wins the Republican primary, there's a very good chance he will lose the general election. I think that we can pretty much predict that right now. Trump's brand is badly, badly tarnished. But on the other hand, if he doesn't win, I mean, there was this poll in the Bulwark this last week, and they found that over a quarter of Republicans now are ready to vote for Trump if he runs as a third party. If he does that, he splits the Republican vote for president and maybe for other positions, and guarantees that whoever the Democrats nominate for 2024 is going to become president. I think it's important to remember that Donald Trump really has no attachment to the GOP. He was a registered Democrat right up until 2015 when he decided to run for president and realized that, you know, as a Democrat, he would not have a chance, but the Republicans are stupid enough and racist enough to go for, you know, for a hustler and a professional con man like Donald Trump. So, you know, Trump has gone off on his, basically the one thing that he knows how to do is tear things down. He's a destroyer. We had, you know, his niece, Mary Trump, on this program, and she said he's a destroyer. This is what he does. He destroys things. He destroys families. He destroys people. He destroys institutions. And, you know, he tried to destroy America's intelligence agencies when he was president and working for Vladimir Putin. He incited an attack on the U.S. Capitol, trying to destroy our democracy. And Republicans, you know, pretended like, oh, there's nothing to see here. I mean, they're continuing to, right? They're trying to reinvent this. Over half of Republicans now who watch Fox News don't believe that January 6th was any big deal. So now he's effectively holding, basically, the GOP hostage. How's this going to shake out? How do you think that this is going to play out? You know, this seems like a really big deal. Also, why is buying into conspiracy theories so exciting? You know, what is it that animates the QAnon people? I'll tell you about that right after the break and then pick up your calls